So I create modules to walk kids through, in my class, because I teach English, novels. As you can see, I created the module for the digital classroom. I did it really because it helped me remember what steps I wanted to follow in our hour and a half. I obviously put probably too much in there for us to actually complete. But my Persepolis module, my students did this over winter break. So just real quickly to show you, this was a little background knowledge on how to go through the module. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to practice online learning and not have me to direct their time. So this was just directions on how to do that, and that was that. So go back to modules. And then here is my lectures on reading comics and how graphic novels work and what they mean. And so there are my lecture notes. So it opens right up. And I told the kids, they can leave the notes in there. They can view it in full screen, so they can read it online, and they always have that there. These are actually links to the Joe Kubert's cover of the 1956 Flash Gordon comic. I was having them evaluate the image of the Joe Kubert's cover and the Steve Ditko cover, and then they go on to evaluate the Cerebus cover because they were looking at the progression of comic imagery over time. But I also noticed that when they went to the link that sometimes, whoa, there it is. So it came up, but sometimes it didn't come up. So what I did was I also in the module, I went ahead and used my cam scanner, and I just took a picture of the picture myself so that they would have it there to look at. It would have been nicer, I think, if I had been able to have the Flash Gordon with Spider-Man and Cerebus right next to each other. Right? All three next to each other would have been a better imagery. But so, and the lecture teaches them how to evaluate these images. So the next lecture was on the production of comics and talking about the differentiation between art house comics and mainstream comics, the capitalization of comics, Marvel, and then of course the genre of Persepolis, which is under the genre of art house comics. So my kids read these lecture notes themselves. What's really cool about this particular unit is that Persepolis itself is actually online. So they didn't even need to buy the text because we don't have the text. So they were able to just click on the link and they could find the text online. So they even read the text online. And it's loading. And there it is. So I think they really had a true experience of actually reading or doing an online course. So the way that you create a module, or before we even get to that, they then had different, you can see that they have an assignment here that I gave them. So a short little lecture on the first few chapters of Persepolis 1, and then some questions that they have to answer. These were text box questions, so they had to copy and paste the questions into the text box and then answer the questions and submit them to Canvas. And all of this had to be completed prior to 8 a.m. on January 6th, and then they had these discussions that also had to be done. So the way that you can create a module is you click on the blue button and you name your module. So math happiness. And you can lock the module so that the kids cannot see anything in the module until you want them to. And then you say add module. And there it is right there. So to add coursework, you use this little wheel right here. And that says, add content. So you go to this, this button right here, the add, and you'll notice that this lines up with the tabs that are on the left-hand side of Canvas. So assignment, quiz, file, content, page, which really links to pages, discussion, or you could just do a text header or an external URL or an external tool. But when you click on this, like if you clicked on assignment, what's going to show up here are these assignments. So if I wanted to click on assignment, I could then click on math resources, the page that's in our digital classroom, and I could click on add item, and now it's there. So before you can really add items to the module, you have to add them into Canvas over here. So you want to set up your assignments for the module over here. You want to set up your discussions. You want to set up your pages over here. When you have all of your work that you want to put into the module set up, then you go over here, you click on the wheel, and you add content. So if you want to add a file, there's your course files. I haven't quite shown you how to use files yet. I could probably show you how to do that right now. So files are over here. So in files, you can upload anything that's on your computer into files. I learned late that I should have been making folders before I added files. So as you can see, I just have a whole bunch of files. So I recommend that the first thing you do is add a folder. So you want to name your folder, whatever your module is going to be. I would recommend naming your folder the name of your module. So math happiness. Or perhaps you want to name your folder after your class. Or if you're doing Algebra 2, perhaps you want to name it Algebra 2 or Nominals or Evolution or the Scarlet Letter, whatever it might be. So then when you want to go to upload a file, you click on your, you can click on the file or you just add files, click on add files, and then of course the dialog box pops up. that has everything that's on your computer. And you can click on whatever file it is that you want to upload into files. So I'll go ahead and upload the Inheritance of Lost Passages and open, and that's uploading. So now here it is. Now I'm gonna let's see. Oh, it's still there. All right, so here it is. There's my Inheritance of Lost Passages. Didn't make it into the folder. So I didn't get into the folder. I guess I'm still working on figuring out how to do folders. But that's how you can upload your files over here. And so when you go back over to modules, and if we wanted to add content, and we wanted to add a file, and we wanted to add the Inheritance of Lost Passages, we would just click on the file and click Add Item, and there it is. Now, if we wanted to add an external tool, I'll show you what those external tools look like. So before we even do that, I'm going to show you that in Settings, there are all these apps. And you can add any one of these apps into your Canvas account, any one of them. Now the apps that I have included so far, I will show you when we go to modules. I've installed a couple. So when I go to add content and I hit external tool, the graph builder is up, Internet Archive, and Khan Academy. So I'm just going to click on Khan Academy. And then it allows me to go through the Khan Academy files, and I would actually be able to find a Khan Academy video, and I could add that. So now that is in my module. So I can go here and I can go add content. But I'm going to add a discussion. And it's going to be a new one. I want it to be a new topic. So I'm going to say math, happiness, add the item. But it's empty, so I want to edit it. I'm just going to click on it. And that will open up. So I need to edit it. I'm going to say, why does math make you happy? Or why doesn't it? And I'm going to say that users must post before seeing replies. I'm going to allow threaded replies. It's going to be a graded discussion. I'll make it out of 10 points. We'll add it to participation. And it's going to be due January 9th. And I'll make it available from the 7th until I'm going to give him an extra day to do it, January 10th. And then I'll save it. So now I'm going to go back to modules. And so there is my discussion. So the kids will just answer that, and it's all in modules. So if I want to add a content page, I'm going to add a content page, and I'm going to add a new page. Just going to be lecture. I'm just going to write it myself in Canvas. So I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to go over here to edit page. And now I can just type up whatever I want to type up right in there. And I'll save changes. I'm going to go back to modules. And there it is. And that's how you build modules. You can make it so that when you set up your settings, oh, that's a cool trick. So you can edit, can add requirements. You can add, let's look at what requirements are. They must, oh, you can tell them they have to complete certain modules in order if you want to do that. You can say students must move through requirements in this module in sequential order. So that would mean they have to do math resources first, then they have to do the inheritance of lost passages next, intro to animation, math happiness, lecture. So if you click on this, it means that they have to go through the module in the order that it is listed. And if you add requirements, you can put other requirements into when the module is complete. So then we can update the module. There you go. I use modules extensively when I do novels, but especially when I do online coursework, especially over breaks. And that's how you work with modules.